I got to lean in.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in again. Thank you, Love Jones and Dream, for coming back. You know, it's always a great time when the three of us are together. How are y'all doing tonight?
Fabulous, dry, sunny, safe, all in one piece.
Very good. Yeah,
Oh,
because
yes.
y'all had hurricane and an earthquake, right? Last
It was too much, all in one day.
well, your the house looks good, still intact. So let's amen to that. How are you doing,
Thank you.
Dream?
I'm doing good. Sun shining in Texas per usual. Too hot, but I'm living.
Y'all
How are you, Danny?
glad I'm not in Texas right now because that heat there is.
It's like
Ooh.
110 degrees and humid.
And then y'all governor don't. Let me just. I won't even go there. But y'all governor
Right,
plays
let's
our power
start.
like
Child.
like to put y'all in them rollouts.
No, yeah.
But anyways, everybody, we are here to talk about love and hip hop. Once again, we do want to thank the viewers. I don't know if either of you knew, but right now on the Lean, this is one of our highest viewed shows. So definitely want to thank the viewers for tuning in. It's not possible without you guys. So thank you, and we'll get started. So as always, we have those tiny little scenes that aren't worth like those 1 or 2 second scenes in the beginning that
Oh,
aren't
man.
worth covering. But this first starts off with Sierra at her Ghetto Girl Eats food tasting. She has their food there for people to try based on her family recipes and the seasoning she created. She shows gratitude to those showing up, and she gets emotional. And she says she gets emotional because she thinks about who she is and where she came from. And just as everything seems to be going well, who shows up? Eric. And he says he came with good intentions and wants to support her regardless of where they are currently in their marriage. Sierra comes out to him and asks why is he there, and she tells him she doesn't want him there. Eric says he's there because he helped her make Ghetto Girl Eats what it is. And they go back and forth some more about whether or not he had anything to do with it. And Sierra just asks him to get off the red carpet, and she tells security, "Do not let him in." Um, so yeah, love. What did you think about this?
Um, Eric is trash. First of all, you came because you love her and you want to support her. But yet the first chance you get, you got on the carpet and wanted to make sure people knew in any capacity, if it's true, that you had something to do with the success of this. That's not love. That's not support. Your intentions are bullshit. It's completely ill will. And it was written all over. I would have, first of all, I would have asked for security the moment I saw him. Security, I would have Kenya'd he would have been out quicker than that. Because
Yeah,
it's not like he came with good intentions whatsoever at all. And you're dodging process servers. Oh, yeah, security. And where's my server? He would have been done.
yeah.
Um,
Dream. Oh, sorry. I
I
thought I was
will
frozen.
say, just to jump in real quick, during that little piece of scene at the very beginning, did you notice that Spice had a brown wig? It wasn't blue this time. And she looked good. But I noticed that. I was like, oh, look at Spice.
Look
But
at a
she
little
does
quick
look good with.
change.
Well, she does look good with non-blue hair.
As far as the Sierra scene, as far as I know, because I have seen her videos on YouTube. I think I think it is on YouTube called Ghetto Girls Eats as well. But I did watch some of her videos, and her food does look good. So I'm happy for her success and her branching off to making, producing her own seasonings that can go in store. People can buy it. I think that's a really big deal. And I think it's really cool whenever people can take a hobby and turn it into money because people know how to cook. She says she's been cooking forever. So
Yeah.
there's another way to monetize something that you're already good at. So I think that's pretty cool. As far as Eric showing up, I mean, I appreciate that he didn't go. I appreciate that he didn't go automatically acting or showing his tail. He just showed up and kind of was just smiling. And honestly, I feel like he was being pretty civil. Even when he was getting kicked out, he wasn't yelling or anything. He was talking to her, yeah, but I don't feel like he was yelling or causing a scene. So I feel like it wasn't really a big deal the way that she handled it. It could have been a bigger scene, but it definitely wasn't what it could have been. So I appreciate that for him not making it a bigger scene to overshadow her event.
Yeah. I just have.
Don't show up nowhere if I'm trying to serve you papers. Don't show up to my event. I'm trying to find you.
But
what are you doing?
So first things I noticed was I love how she was personally making sure walking around everybody had plates and stuff. I thought that was, being a really good host. Second thing I noticed was, girl, we do not pronounce the L in salmon. Like she but it is funny though, because the way she talks, it sounded cute to me, but it's still, every time I hear the L, I just cringe, but it sounded cute with her saying it at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing, I think it was a combination of things. When you're with somebody at the beginning of a journey that they're doing, where you play a part in it behind the scenes, because I'm not going to doubt that I'm not going to say Eric didn't play any role in it, even if it was just motivating her and supporting her by cheering her on. When somebody is doing something like that, you kind of do, in a sense, want to show up and see it for yourself, because it's almost like, it's not his, but if you make it, I made it. You know what I mean? In a sense. But I do agree with you, love. You're already avoiding, you're not in the best place to show up. You shouldn't have been there either way. Like, I get his intention behind it, but I also think there was an ulterior motive behind it. I'm going to go up and support. She's going to see that I'm still here supporting her. And maybe this can be a bridge toward us talking and getting back together. So I don't think the motives were pure at 100%. I believe there was some ulterior motive there. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
So, scene 2. We have Spices in Miami, where she has her Grace Hamilton Women Empowerment Foundation, and she received a letter from the Vice Mayor of Miami, where she's getting the keys not to the city, but to the region. So, in Florida, the region is usually like Miami, Broward, and the Palm Beach, those 3 counties. So maybe that's what the region is. I don't know. I don't know how Miami mayor can give a key to another county, or maybe it's just because in Miami, they say Miami, but there's so many different cities that encompass Miami. So that might be what he means, instead of just a small city that's actually Miami. But, she meets up with Safari to grab some food. In her confessional, she kind of referred to Safari as a fan. And Safari opens up that he moved to Miami and is in paradise, because it's like Jamaica. And Spice, really just gets down to it and says she has some things to ask him, because there's so many things popping up on the internet. So she first asked about him and Amara, and asked about him giving the kids watches. He says he didn't think it was a big deal because he's single and free to do whatever he wants. Spice asks about him and Erica, and Safari says, she's using the kids as a way to get at him, basically using them as pawns. And he also says him and Erica are still sleeping together as recent as a month ago. He says Erica went to Mexico while he was taking care of the kids, and someone called him to tell him that Erica was out there with a man. Which I don't see why that's an issue if you're dating Amara, but it is what it is. Typical male chauvinist. But and Safari says that really stung him. Spice asked him, does he want to get back with Erica? And he says, now there's no chance in hell. In his confessional, he's asked by production if there is any overlapping between him sleeping with Erica and Amara. And he says boldly that anything between him and Erica is not Amara's business. He is not tied down, and they are just seeing where things are headed. And then Spice asked him to kind of prove that he's paying child support, because she's a woman first and a single mother. So she wants to make sure he's taking care of his business. Safari comes to her side of the table and shows her receipts. And Spice says her and Erica are good friends, but she really don't know what to think right now. And Safari also showed texts where he asked Erica to pick up the kids, and instead of addressing that, she goes to talking about him and other women. And Spice does admit to him that she was looking at him sideways when she heard he wasn't paying child support. And Spice has actually heard about that, because she says Black men have to also be protected, especially when they're doing right for their kids. And she mentions to Safari that if him and Erica can coexist at her gala, and it's like, So Dream, what did you think about this scene?
My first thought was Spice's hair and Safari's shirt were the same color. I don't know what is going on with Spice's hair, but this scene, it looked good. I was like, okay, Spice, I don't know. This light blue, I don't know what it was, but I was like, okay, Spice, I see you. She got rid of those other ones, thank God, and she came and saved the day with this blue one.
It agrees with the Miami Sun, probably.
So, as far as her, basically, I had a flashback. I was like, okay, this is how you approach people about their business when you're trying to kind of call them out, because she's basically trying to, from my perspective, check Safari, like, are you paying child support? Because that's messed up if you are. I understand that females and males can be friends, and you still have to hold your male friends accountable for their children. You shouldn't willingly promote like the BS. If you can check it. So I appreciate Spice trying to get to the bottom of some stuff. As far as Safari's receipts, I'm like iffy with it, because I feel like a lot of things can be true. As far as the child support paying situation, I feel like Safari is paying child support. I feel like he's probably not paying as much or as Erica might want him to pay, but I feel like he is paying something. I feel like he's paying what the court is telling him to pay, but I feel like maybe Erica might want a little bit more and thinks that's not enough. Him saying that Amada doesn't need to know anything about him and Erica's relationship, I think that's messed up. If you're being sexually active with anybody else, I think that other person has the right to know something. That you should definitely be clear on that, because I feel like that's just me. I feel like you should know if someone else is being sexually active with other people, at bare minimum, if you're being sexually active with them. But it's Safari's rules in his head, like whatever, it got him this far. I don't know. That's all I can say. I like Spice's energy though.
Love.
Okay, well, for starters, I'm wearing my Spice blue. So before I kick her back in, I just wanted to give a shout out to the blue, because she's wearing blue the rest of the year and I'm wearing blue the rest of this review. So shout out to Spice. It looks delicious. All right. Let me get into some things. Safari didn't say not one truthful thing this entire sit down. Let's start from the beginning. It's a big deal why you bought those children, those twins, Rolexes, not because you're single. No one forgets that you're single. That's gaslighting. It's a big deal because it's proven that you don't give your children anything for the birthdays that also passed prior to you buying the twins something. So yeah, perspective is everything. It looks trash for you to not do enough or anything for your biological children versus doing too much and overboard for the children of the girl that you're not dating. You're just screwing for a storyline. Optics are everything. It looks horrible. So he's trying to get out of that. And the fact that Spice didn't check that, I get it. It's a show, but whatever. That irritated my soul. So that's for starters. That's why it's a big deal. No one cares about you dating. Well, Adamena, she's the only one who probably cares about dating Amara. But no one cares that you're dating. No one cares that you're single. No one cares that you're out doing your thing. It's the fact that you're not doing enough for your biological children and too much for kids that ain't yours. We're not stupid, first of all. Second lie. He says that Erica uses his kids on social media for clout. Safari says he never uses his children on social media for clout or to make it seem like he's a good dad. I looked at Safari's social media before I went on this live. What?
Yeah.
The only time you post your children is after some type of controversy with Erica, or we know that you're using them for clout. Like, what are we? So it was complete. I was like, is this an episode of Black Mirror inserted in this scene? It was insane what he was getting off. So, and Spice was trash for just listening and letting it go through one ear and not the other. And the last thing, congratulations. You showed us your 2023 invoice of your child support payments. That's great. How about we look at the last 4 years? You want to keep scrolling? We can keep going past 2023. So stop it. Safari is just, the entire scene was wild. I'm done with him. It was insane. I was pinpointing everything.
2022.
Like, let's look at everything. Can we see The start of the statement, not just the last few Zells. And is Zell the way that you submit the child support? Get out of here. And for Spice to be sitting there as a mother, and my fault that he did it to me, and my kids didn't get anything for 14 years. Okay, then if that's the energy, and if you're a woman first, then let's be real about the scene.
But,
that's it.
You know, for me, I'm conflicted on. I understand why Spice believes him though, because Erica says he's not paying at all. So there's a difference. Erica's not saying that he just started paying. Erica's saying he don't pay at all. So I think with Erica saying he don't pay at all, Safari did prove Erica wrong with what she's saying. He is paying, but like you said, there's still deceit behind it.
Yeah, we gotta see more. Start from A. Don't start from G.
And he says later on in the show, he says, you know, I was just ordered to. No, he said it to when he was showing her the receipts. I just got ordered to start paying in 2022. So basically, it's you don't use your kids for clout, nothing like that, allegedly, but you have to be ordered to take care of them. Right. And Dream, like you said, is definitely not enough money to Erica, because when they told her at that one season finale, I think it was last season, how much she'd be getting in child support, she broke down crying.
Or something.
Isn't it like $3,000 or something? It's less than 5, right?
I thought it was
like
5.
2.
Oh,
was
2
it
or
5?
3. I
feel like it's less than 5. Like I feel like no, it's less than. It's like 2 or 3 for sure. Because I was like, that is crazy.
Whatever it was, she didn't think it was enough. So we definitely already know that. My issue with Safari is he says, I don't do this. I don't post these things for clout. But Safari's whole career has always been built off being show-offy, you know, and stuff like that. And he's been put down a lot by Erica. And Safari's the type that if he had receipts to prove her wrong from the beginning, he would have been produced them to shut her up. Because Safari loves attention. So he would. How
about you show us, what did you buy your kids for their birthdays this year? We'll wait. Yeah.
And I think the part where Erica messed up at is she's not being truthful either. And the narrative that she's putting out there that he doesn't pay at all. If I was Spice, I'd believe him too, because Erica says he's not paying at all. And he is paying, whether it's late, whether it's.
And that's why she cleaned it up in the episode and was like, he just started paying. So she had to clean it up.
Yeah, but.
She had to clean it up.
If nobody would have called her out on that, Safari would have never showed the receipt. She still, it could be a year down the line, and she still would have ran with the narrative that he's not paying at all. So if I was Spice, I would have believed him too, based on the lie that Erica was telling. It, you know what I mean? It got proven wrong.
Absolutely.
So Erica kind of did that to herself right there.
That lie, yeah.
Yeah. So next we have a scene with Carly and Renny Rucci. And they're taking a nature walk, and Carly asks Renny if she okay because she doesn't look too good. And Renny opens up. She's dealing with a lot, you know, around her mother's passing. And, you know, the situation with Erica was made worse because of all the stuff she's dealing with. You know, Renny says she's comfortable talking to Carly about what she's dealing with. And Erica, you know, Erica telling her that she needed therapy and is delusional really caused her to black out. And she don't remember nothing after that other than standing over her. And she says the issues aren't really Erica, Amy, or really anybody else. You know, she's dealing with stuff regarding her mom's passing, and her mental health is not in the best place. She admits she probably needs to go to therapy, and Carly lets her know there is no shame in that, and that talking to somebody will help. You know, Reddy says she needs to admit that losing her mom is the toughest thing, and she hasn't really had a chance to deal with her emotions at all. And this situation has shown her that you have to take the time to work through your problems. You just can't ignore them. She says she couldn't even get out of bed on Mother's Day, and the first step is acknowledging the problem, which she feels she has not done. And Carly tells her it's okay to be vulnerable because this is something that can be worked on. So I will start with you, Lev. What did you think about this?
It's sad. I totally get what she's saying as far as the grief and the process, and it's sometimes little things triggering you and not really realizing that you do have to get into a point of your grief where you have to accept them being gone, and certain things in life will come across that kind of make you absorb that that's what you have to do to get the piece of them being gone. I remember one of the examples of me realizing that I have to like let my mom go as a child was like around the time of me starting to have feelings for boys, or like the first time I had my cycle. You know, certain things where I was like, oh, I have to accept the fact that she's gone. So that was really relatable, at least for me, and I'm sure for the viewers. But I thought it was a good scene as far as I love the deep moments because this show can go real left and then it can go real deep like this. So dare I say it has some depth sometimes. I will give it to them. I will give it to them.
No,
so I enjoyed it.
You're right. It has depth, especially when it comes to stuff about mental health or like domestic abuse, suicide. They always manage to sneak in something, you know, deep that is affecting the Black community, which I think is great because not a lot of other shows do that. So, Dream.
Good point, D.
Rennie's hair was so cute. I don't know what's going on. Who are their hair?
I was trying to figure it out. I was pausing. I was like, is it like a braid on the side with like an updo? Like what was, you know? I was trying to figure it out.
It was pinned up and everything. Thought that was so cute. Sorry, my dog. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, her hair was so cute. So it was like pinned up, blonde, little black roots. I was like, okay, Rennie, I see y'all. I'm happy that she came to the conclusion that she should go to therapy. I think I'm gonna piggyback on what I said last week. It seemed like she had a lot of built up emotions in her, and I felt like it was a lot of anger. And what she said in the episode, that it really wasn't anything that Amy said, it wasn't anything that Erica said. It's the grievances that she has, or like she's has with her mom passing and her having to deal with the situation. I feel really bad for her because I feel like she lost her support system, and I couldn't imagine not having somebody your go-to person to have your back, like to call about your kids, or like, you know. So I feel really bad for her on that end, but I'm really happy that she came to the conclusion that she should seek a little bit more help. So I guess the conversation between her and Erica needed to happen, and Erica unfortunately got splashed with some wine, but she kind of helped process. So I was like, I bet whenever Rennie goes to therapy, I can see her and Erica actually becoming friends.
I was thinking the same thing. I can see that happening. I can see Erica understanding why the blow up happened and stuff. And
she was saying it right then. She said, "You need help. Like, you need to go."
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
it'll be easy to forgive her. It'll be easy. I mean, they're attracted to each other. You know, they want a kitty click. They'll make up fast. I'm sure.
Well, you know. No, for me, two things stood out to me in this, and one, I loved. You could tell how raw and vulnerable Rennie was being. I know it can't be easy to talk about this at all, much less talk about it on camera. So I think that, you know, I give her props for that. And, you know, this is the Cardi that I enjoy seeing, the one that's not being messy. I wish she took a page out of Rasheeda and Yandy's book, and as an OG acted like an OG. She was acting like one in this scene. And this should really be the role she's playing. I think she needs to realize that she doesn't need to be messy to have relevance on the show.
There you go.
And the thing is, what bothers me is, well, as much as I enjoyed seeing this, we've all seen how opening up to Cardi can later come back and bite you in the ass. If her and Rennie ever argue, this will be the first thing she throws in her face, that she was there for her when she had a break, and, you know, having breakdowns and stuff. And I don't know what a bitch get thrown at Cardi's face, but you know, Cardi has a pattern of that. So I hope that this never turns into something else, because every single person that Cardi has befriended, they have fallen out with at one point or another. Every single person that she's befriended on the show, she has never had a relationship on the show where they have not fallen out.
That is so fun. The moment you pointed that out, I was like, wow.
Maybe
not even her
Carly
daughter. Not even her daughter.
Maybe Carly and Rennie will be a good match, because Carly don't really have nobody. Rennie don't really have nobody. We'll see.
We shall see. So we next see Rasheeda and Shekinah join Spice in Miami. And, you know, they show up while Spice is getting glammed up. And that's when Shekinah always shows up, when Spice is out of town getting glammed up. Here comes Shekinah. Probably trying to get some makeup done, too, for free. They sit down and talk, and Spice says she's pretty nervous because she didn't write a speech. And they tell her that she don't really need one because she has so much she could talk about with everything that she's been through. And then we have Flo Rida pop up to visit her. And Spice gives him a very big hug. And Shekinah's like, well, damn, She didn't hug me like that. You know how she kind of talks, in her scratchy voice. And Spice, that is Flo Rida, is like her brother, and she introduces them to the girls. And Shekinah asks right away if they're coming to the gala, but Flo says he has a show. Spice says they have a song together called Energy, and Shekinah says, I definitely see that energy. And Shekinah, in her normal fashion, starts asking a lot of inappropriate questions, and you can tell Spice don't like it. When they leave, Spice tells her she is messy and she won't ever introduce her to anyone else ever again. Spice then begins to spill all the tea about her conversation with Safari and lets the girls know that Safari is indeed paying child support, and that him and Erica were still sleeping together as recently as a month ago. And she tells them that Erica went to Belize, but it was really Mexico. I don't know where she got Belize from Mexico, but Rasheeda says she really don't know who to believe because the relationship with Safari and Erica has gotten extremely toxic. And I agree with Rasheeda. I don't know who to believe, but anyway, Dream, what were your thoughts on this scene?
You cannot take Shekinah anywhere, okay? Because she is going to call you out on everything. She said, "Oh, I see the energy, all right." I was like, "Oh man, Shekinah, you're embarrassing." No, I'm just kidding. I love a friend like Shekinah. Call it out, girl. But I thought that was pretty funny. I like Shekinah and Spice's relationship, so I even like that they included that little snippet of like Spice chasing after her. Like I was like, "Oh,
with
okay."
The water at the end, yeah.
And Rasheeda hiding in the little corner. But as far as her repeating what Safari said back, kind of repeating it because he didn't say Belize. He surely didn't he say Mexico? But
yeah.
The demographics of it all.
I wouldn't know what to believe either because if I were the girls, because Erica Mena has went on episode, scene after scene saying basically like Safari is 100% trash. Now, if you're going to say someone's 100% trash, all of your facts have to be in order about that. So if you're saying he does not pay child support and he pulls up, he's paying child support, it's going to kind of seem like, Erica, you're lying to us. Why would you lie to us and frame this man to be a certain way? So I can kind of see why they're confused. But at the same time, it's Erica Mena and Safari. Like, a liar and a liar. Like, everything's up in the air at this point. So I feel Rasheeda. I don't know who to believe.
Yeah. I mean, because you really don't. What about you, Love?
Well, first of all, Flo Rida just won $82 million in the Celsius settlement. So that was an $82 million hug that Spice gave to that man. That's what the energy was. I don't know how long they've been friends, but I'm sure they've been friends before and after the settlement. So that was a money hug. That's what I saw. That's a lot of money. Okay, anyway, the thing about Safari and Erica Mena is it's not just the child support thing. Safari has a track history of not being the best father, the most present father, the most responsible father. We've seen hospital footage videos of him not being in moments where his son almost died was unalived in a hospital bed. So for the woman in the room to just be so fixated, I know it's a storyline. I get it. We're going to fixate on the one thing that he could show proof and she could show proof. But for me in the room, if we're going to play who to believe antics in this situation involving his children and responsibility and paying and being a good father, I'm going to go with Erica. That track history alone. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now, the child support thing, I get it. There's proof, there's receipts, so on and so forth. You got to keep scrolling. Show me from day one, since the judge signed off on it, you have been making payments, whether late or not, because Kirk tried to give them that. Show that you've been making monthly payments to your children, because it doesn't look good optic-wise when you're buying Rolexes, but you late on your child support payments. Either way, you're trash. Whether you're a little bit of trash or you're a lot of trash, you're trash. Shout out to Flo Rida.
And we have a comment here that says, but wasn't it proven that he was in the hospital? I don't know. I didn't keep up with it that much about this, just being honest.
Not when the son was born, not when Legend was born. He was in Jamaica on his own story on Snapchat. It was all over the Shade Room. Now that I remember in real time. He was supposed to be there. The baby, the boy, Legend, had difficulties with that labor. I remember that in real time. So he was in Jamaica. Get out of here with that. I love
think
you
you're
though.
talking about Dollface. He showed up, but I think it was like the very last day, and I think the baby was like he showed up when for like
he was
an
about to
hour
be released from the
and left.
hospital or something.
And
Exactly.
He did it for like the cameras. They showed it, I think, in last season.
I just see something about that last
I don't know.
Yeah.
He was in Jamaica, Dote whining, while the baby was in the hospital.
And you know, Love, I agree with you that the track record that we've seen proves not in his favor. But again, I think because of the lie that Erica was saying,
right.
I do think that maybe Spice is trying to give him the benefit of doubt, saying, well, if Erica's lying about this, he's probably changed. He just told me he tries to pick up the kids on Monday. I show her this one text where I said, let me pick up the kids. And here you are, instead of responding to that. So he was very manipulative for what he showed her, what he showed Spice. And it was done on purpose. So I definitely think that that's why Spice is believing him, because he's showing her stuff that directly contradicts two things that Erica is saying. And if Erica says he's not seeing the kids, he just showed her why he can't see the kids. He asked her to see them, and she pops up with, "Oh, you need some help. You need some mental help. You're sick." So, it was manipulation on his part. And we never know. It's very easy on the iPhone to hold a text down and delete it from your end so that somebody else can see a whole thing. It could have been a whole thread in between there, and then boom.
Right. I try to read in between the lines because I feel like just because you're a mom doesn't automatically mean that like everything you're saying about the dad is like 100% true. So that's why I don't want to throw everything that Erica Mena is saying as fact, because you just said one thing and he's proven you wrong. I feel like slowly he may not be 100% the best. I understand that who is, because apparently Erica Mena isn't the best to her oldest child, but that's another story for another day.
Another episode.
I know, right? But in the streets, everything's in the streets. No, I'm just kidding. But so that's why I don't want to I give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit. So I don't want to 100% just go verbatim for what Erica's saying, because I know Erica could put 20 on 10. Not saying Safari is the best. Don't get me wrong. But
he didn't even want them
kids. Bash the man if he's doing what he's supposed to do, aside from the watch stuff.
Yeah. And let's move on from this, because it's going to all circle back in at the final scene. So I'm sure we're going to have more to add about Erica. So
yeah.
In the next scene, we're back in Atlanta with Sierra as she meets up with Eric in the park. He walks up. They exchange a bunch of tiny surface conversation before diving into the heavy stuff. And Eric says he doesn't know how to feel about what Sierra has been saying. Sierra says he was always mean to her, but Eric says he just don't know how to submit to a man in a marriage. And Sierra says he really just wants a do-girl, and I'm not going to submit to a man when he's treating me this way. Eric, tries to throw up the Safari situation up in her face, and Sierra gets upset because she says she hung up with Safari, and he was the very first person she called, like, immediately. And then Sierra asks him why he's been avoiding the process servers, and he says he really don't want to get divorced. He still loves her and wants to get things back on track. And again, they still continue to go back and forth foolishly over who's been unfaithful to who. And somebody walks up and asks Eric, are you so-and-so? And Eric says, yeah. And boom, you're served. So apparently this was the reason she met her in the park. Eric is pissed off and leaves because he feels deceived. And they exchange some more back and forth until he finally speeds off. So, Love, what did you think about this?
Sierra gets on my nerves, and she has not been close to one of my favorites throughout this show. But in this scene, in this episode, I was riding for her. That was so clean, smooth, and easy to serve. Oh my God. The man even had a little polo on with a little hat. Like he meant business. The processor. Eric didn't see it. He didn't know if it was production. He didn't know if there was someone with the boom mic. He didn't know what was going on. So that tickled me, especially with my profession with service. Look, it tickled me. I loved it. Eric gotta go. I don't think he's good for her, and I don't think she's good for him. They gotta go. They don't mean each other well. Do they share a child? No. Okay. Bye. He served now. She said, see you in court.
He don't even like her kids.
I mean, what's happening? You know, hopefully next season there will be no Eric and her together. That's how I feel about that scene. Great service.
Dream.
They should have named this episode The Setup, because the way that she did that, I had to give
Genius.
it to her.
I love it.
She seemed so sincere. She was acting. She gave him a hug. You smell good. You smell good too.
He said, why are we being that apart? He should have ran. That should have been his first red flag. He's like, I had to change my addresses a couple times. I was like, then why are you in an open space, in a public forum, in a park? Run, Eric, run.
But love, anywhere they would have met, she could have had somebody waiting. Even at her house, as soon as he walked out, he could have got served. So it would have happened anywhere.
She should have served him at the event. Ooh, that's what she should have.
Well, she didn't know.
Hey, if he show up, give him these I wish he would show up to my event, and she could have served him and walked back in. Sierra, call me next time.
So well, and I felt so bad for him during the moment. So she got him real good. He was stuck. He didn't know. He was like, "What is this? What is this?" He had to get up and go. He felt embarrassed. I felt bad for him because it happened on camera. But at the same time, I understand, like, if you're ducking and dodging, we need to find you. Like, it is what it is. I mean, I felt really bad during the,
girl, every time you turn around, I've been thinking we're in a scary movie and I'm going to see a killer walk up.
That's what I'm saying. Look, listen.
Paying attention to when they're arguing, because I'm like, I wonder if he's gonna slip up and start calling her outside of her name and start saying.
Oh, he wanted to so bad.
And the worst he said was, "You're selfish." But when he drove off, I was like, "Oh, thank God he stopped at that stop sign, because he would have crashed." Did you catch that?
No, I'm glad he took his mic off. He was calling her all type of flagrant. He was calling her everything but a child of God in that car.
I'm not gonna lie, I would have been pissed too. You really did this? Like, she got him good. He's gonna look back at that and laugh about it, but I'm sure he was pissed during
I don't know if he's ever gonna laugh about it now.
Girl, he ain't about to laugh about that. What?
I think he'll
got a brick to the window that same day.
When he take an L, like, dang, it really got me. Like, you gotta give credit where credit is. To me, that's what I do. So if someone really gets me, like, dang, you did. Like, I was pissed, but you got me.
All I get from Erica and Sierra situation is this comment here from Sean S. I think about it constantly. Why marry him if he was mean and didn't like your kids? Like,
that's how I believe 90% of what she says.
Eric didn't just change overnight. I believe Eric is who he was from the beginning. And if he wants a woman to submit in marriage, trust me, he wanted her to submit while they were still dating. So, and I get that Sierra said, "Oh, she was alone," and was it like during the pandemic she was with him most of the time and not her family? I get she felt like her family wasn't there, wasn't talking, whatever. But whatever the reason, I don't care how I am. I can't.
You know what? And I actually have a bone. I'm glad you mentioned that, Danny. I have a bone to pick with Eric about that submit stuff. That irritates me. I honestly feel like that's used. That submit shit, it actually makes me mad, because I feel like it's used in a weird way where people will remix it against Black women, as far as like, you need to submit to your man because we're so aggressive and we're so overbearing. I feel like it's like it has bad undertone, and people have like hijacked the real meaning of what it is to submit, not to your man, but to your partner and to your significant other, and where it's a fair exchange. The way he used it, like, I feel like the energy he used behind it was very undercutting. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I might have my Malcolm X glasses on. I don't know. But I just felt that. It was just, it was icky to me. But anyway, I just had to make that point. I get what you're saying, Amy.
Listen, I get it. So We'll move on to we're nearing the end. So I broke the last scene down into two parts. First, we'll just talk about Spice accepting the keys, and then we'll go on to the whole Erica, stuff at the end. But so we're at the gala, and people begin to show up. Erica says it's an honor to be there for Spice and to get away from the drama. And she says that she runs into Safari and Donna Allegra, whoever that is. I know she means Amara, but she tries to be shady and saying her name, which I hate stuff like that. But
Me too.
Spice is on the red carpet and says it's a Cinderella theme because it's a spot that she is able to open up doors for other women by staying true to yourself and going after your dreams. There's many people there to support Spice, and it's a really nice moment. Spice is presented with the keys to the region, and she gives a nice speech. She talks about being from Jamaica, and it really stuck out to me when she said this, when she said the statement, and always, in Jamaica, you're made to feel that you have to bleach to reach. And
Oof, yeah.
that was kind of deep to me. And then, she's thankful that she just stuck true to herself and didn't do that. Then we have Kirk in his confessional saying he's very proud of her and says her speech is motivating. Spice then performs a song and the crowd gets hyped. I can't lie, I was a little hyped watching it because, if we haven't gotten the memo by now, Spice is a star of this season. She is. This is the Spice show. So it's nice to see everybody being genuinely happy for her. So, Dream, what did you think?
I feel like I'm happy for Spice. I'm happy that she's getting her recognition and that she didn't have to change who she is, or her, like, she didn't have to lighten herself to find herself successful, or to get the eyes, the attention of people who can help progress her financially and her business and so on and so forth. So I'm happy that she's getting her recognition. Not to jump back, but I wanted to make a comment about Rennie and her family, like, paintballing.
Oh, I missed that one, but yeah, we could talk about that real quick too. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to say that I thought.
That was one of the quick ones. Yeah. That was sweet though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just touched me a little bit because I was like, man, I love the fact that. Let me not say I love that because I don't wish this on anybody, but when she was having the conversation with her children and her voice started to crack, and she was showing them a vulnerable side of her rather than her being strong and putting up a face. I really appreciated that moment, and I really love that her daughter got up and like hugged her. I was like, oh, it sucks that, situations happen when people pass away, but the way that my family is, sometimes situations like that happen, and it helps grow you closer to your people that you have in your life right now. So I felt like her having that conversation, her daughter hugging her son looked very he looked emotional too. You can tell that he was kind of trying to keep a strong face, but I'm happy that she had the conversation and broke that barrier of them being able to be vulnerable about their emotions instead of just like dipping off to their room to mask it off. And hopefully, I actually feel like it's just going to make their bond stronger.
No, so I agree with you.
I just love that scene.
No, and yeah, I agree with you because I thought it was she had like a full circle moment, like an eye-opening moment where she's like, if I'm having this tough time because I'm not talking about it, even if I haven't gotten the help I need yet, let me talk to them to make sure that they're not holding their feelings in and they know they can talk to me. So I thought that was really, really sweet. I thought that was really good parenting. To have that light bulb go off and realize and want to let your kids know that they can talk to you about anything. So I thought that was dope.
Because they were in her mom's custody for a while, right? That's where they went to school and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So sorry, I was like, oh, that was like such a cute little scene.
No, you're fine. I meant to combine it with the first one because it kind of tied in together. But Love, what were your thoughts?
On running with her kids?
Or the Spice situation, either one.
I totally agree. Okay, I'll touch on both of them really quick. Running with the kids is absolutely adorable. I'm happy you mentioned that, Dream. It was such a quick scene. I completely just forgot. It was really sweet. I couldn't imagine. I mean, it's a double whammy. I mean, when I lost my mom, I didn't have children. I was a child myself, so I'm sure it's twice as hard having to deal with it on your own and have to maneuver through your child losing their grandparent. My goodness, it's a lot. So my heart goes out to her for that. And it seems like she was so absent in the beginning of the season, and now it seems like this is like a lot of Rennie, but it's a lot in a good way. You know, she's getting a lot of visibility, but it's very favorable. In conflict, it's favorable for her. She's the victor. And even in real moments, personal life, she's like, you know, relatable. So I feel like she's, as far as just her presence on the show, I'm happy. I called her the Cynthia, like in the first episode. I was like, she's gonna be very like forgettable. But I'm completely, I take that back when it comes to Rennie. I'm really enjoying her. Spice, definitely the star of the show, Danny. I totally agree. It's sweet to see her. When it comes to her music, you could tell like nothing really else matters. Her music and her kids. That's it. Take or leave the show, Spice is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel as though she is using the platform very well to that as well, you know, and she's winning in real life too. So shout out to Spice. I enjoyed both scenes.
For me, what stood out most about the scene, you know, with Spice giving her speech was a comment, you know, that I made about, you know, having to bleach to reach, because, you know, with colorism is and how sometimes it can cause people to develop a lot of self-hate for their skin. Sean S put in a comment, and it was actually one of the first time one of the shows I noticed it on, the Young Rich and African show. They do ladies there have done a lot of heavy bleaching, and it really has kind of ruined their skin a little bit, like acne breakouts and stuff, you know. And
it's promoted in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And in some parts
it's
of Africa
sad.
In Africa, yeah.
And I just wish that, you know, we had more. But with colorism being so prevalent, I wish we just had more support for, you know, to encourage people to love themselves for the way they look and not have to feel the pressure that, you know, light is right. So good call out.
And that's why representation is so important. And that's why it's good to see us pushing forward. The needle is moving a little bit more each and every day as far as people being able to see themselves on the TV and in social media and in places where it's not just white is right. Bleach, the closer you are to, you know, it's a whole nother world now. So we're getting there, you know, and hopefully the self-hate and all the anti-Black will go with it. So we're reaching.
We're getting there, but we still have a very long way to go.
A long way.
So in this final scene, you know, Shekinah walks up and asks RASHEEDA about Safari not showing up. RASHEEDA says, girl, it's probably a good thing. And Erica walks up and Shekinah says, you know, in her messy fashion, producing, the Safari was supposed to be there because she knows the mere mention of the word Safari is going to set Erica off. And Erica says, well, Safari is supposed to come every Monday to pick up the kids and doesn't, so I'm not surprised. And that just opens the door for Shekinah to tell Erica all the stuff that Safari told Spice. And Erica says, girl, he just started paying, and that's because the stuff hit the blogs. Erica pulls out her phone to show receipts, and she shows that his child support is neither consistent nor on time. Kirk still says, hey, paying late is still paying, which I kind of hate that because paying late doesn't mean that my kids got to eat on time, but I digress. And Erica tells him that he's been trying to get with Sierra, and that when she confronted Safari about it, he blocked her, and he hasn't seen her kids since then. Shekinah brings up Erica going to Mexico with another man, and Erica says she was on vacation with her friend group. And RASHEEDA said, well, girl, he's also saying y'all just slept together a month ago. And Erica says that what they did was not sleeping together. She peed on him, and he licked her booty. And Shekinah says, ew, that they are unsanitary. And I kind of laughed at Shekinah saying that. And then Spice walks up, and you can tell Erica's still upset, and I can tell she's probably upset that Spice even met up with him, period.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You know, the group congratulates Spice, and Erica also hugged her and thanked her for having her. And Erica starts to bring up the Safari stuff, and Spice says, girl, you really want to talk about this now after I just got the keys to the region? And Erica says she just wants to clarify the misinformation given to Spice and call Safari some kind of name. We weren't sure what the word was. I heard one thing, Dream heard another. So you tell us in the comments what you thought you heard. But either way, Spice says don't call him that, girl, when you know you still want him. Um, and Spice says she knows Erica's going to play victim, so they're not going to talk about this right now. Shekinah starts to get graphic with Spice about the things that Erica says Safari had her do. Erica says they have not been intimate in a long time. And Shekinah asks to see the receipts about Safari still trying to get with her. And, you know, she is upset that he is trying to cause beef between her and Spice. Shekinah doesn't believe it. Shekinah said, I don't believe either one of them at this point. And Erica says the kids are still asking for her father and they don't understand. She's yelling and that vein is popping out in her forehead. They try to calm her down, but it's still going up. She's still going at it. And she says, I am still Erica Mena. And if you try to hurt me, I am going to hurt you back. So I'm going to put the link in the comments in case anyone wants to call in. And Love, we will start off with you.
Oh, Shekinah. Oh, Shekinah. I understand that there was serious topics happening in this scene, and we were at a serious event, but I couldn't stop laughing at Shekinah. I could not. When I tried to focus and be serious, I was like, okay, yeah, focus on the kids. Safari, what's happening? Child custody. Then she's like, did you pee on them like this? And did you do it like this? I said, kind of stop. We're supposed to pay attention. Stop. She was hilarious throughout this whole thing. It was really hard for me to focus. Oh, Erica. Can we talk about the fashions real quick? Do we like Spice's outfit? Do we like the headpiece?
So let me just say this. The final scene was so funny to me when you were talking about how Shekinah was being graphic because I'm seeing Shekinah do all this. Spice is moving away looking like this. The feathers are just, doing all that. So that's why I was laughing. But no, I didn't like what Spice had on. But what I will say is it was true Spice fashion in the sense that Spice always wants to make a statement. And she don't really care if you like it or not. As long as she is happy, she is fine with it. And I can respect someone like that. Because Spice always looks very confident in what she has on, even if we think it's the tackiest thing in the world. She is confident, and I can respect someone like that.
Oh, like Giselle?
No, I can't respect that.
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, we draw lines. Okay.
We draw.
I tried.
As tacky as them feathers were, it still beats anything Giselle has ever worn, even if it's the shorts. But that's another subject. So
that's another story for another day. Shekinah's hilarious. The scene was messy. I get Rasheeda and Kirk. They're just like, at this point, who to believe? They both sling mud. They both either messing around, not messing around. They're both bad for each other. Everyone's kind of just over it at this point. Like, we don't even want y'all to be in the same team. Who knows why Safari didn't go? Just buy your kids more birthday balloons, take more Instagram pictures, and none of this will happen.
Yeah. And to this comment right here, I agree. Spice, that her style is about standing out and being fabulous. And that's what I mean when I say that even if I personally don't like it, her confidence carries that,
Eats it.
Her confidence eats it. Like, even if you don't think it looks good, she'll never let you know that if she thinks it because her confidence is there.
Yeah.
Dream?
I feel like her pieces that she wears are good for photo, but they're not good for like walking around socializing. But if she was to stop and pose, I think her outfits would be a good moment. As far as Shekinah can't take Shekinah anywhere. She's gonna talk. She's gonna tell the business, okay? But I do like the way that they were coming at Erica. They're like, girl, you're walking around here saying this, and Safari told us this, and he showed us this, and girl, why you acting like you don't want him if you weren't just smashing him the other? Because Erica's not telling the whole truth, and that's my issue. Erica, tell the whole truth, because when you get caught in your one lie, all the other ones are going to start coming out too. Just be truthful. You could say girl, yeah, we did do that. We did smash. I did want our family back for a moment. Then I realized that he's trash and I stopped. Just say that, girl. Don't sit there and say we're not sexually active, but you just said that he cleaned your pipes with his tongue, so that's not sexually active. You're lying.
Not her parts.
Like, you're lying, girl. First it was he was on Vampire Action. Now it's golden showers and eating the dude, that's not even the box. Eating the
I hope this wasn't all in the same day, bro. That's a lot.
eating the exit door. So it's like,
But
you keep lying on
the
lying
kids
on
aren't
lying
home.
to
The
people's
kids
faces,
got to be out the
and they're gonna
house
call
for them
you
be
out.
doing this.
They're gonna
What'd
call
you say?
you out. So
I couldn't hear the end of it. What'd you say?
like she keeps on like lying and lying and lying, and they're catching you every time because she doesn't even know what she's doing. She's trying to make Safari look nasty, just like she did in the other episode, bringing up the whole vampire situation. I felt like she'd have kept that to herself. She's trying to frame him out to be a certain way to deflect from he was smashing. It is what it is, girl. Like, just say that. Don't deflect. Just be honest, because you're making yourself go in a deeper hole, and people are not going to be believing you because you keep lying in their face.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, understandable. I mean, I can see why you would lie. And you don't want to admit to it. I see that, but girl, you're caught. Just say it.
But you know what, Dream? When you said that Erica's like telling half truths, I think that's where everything gets tricky because Safari is too. They're both doing the same exact thing.
They are, but that's why you can't believe Safari 100% either. They're both lying. They're both telling the truth. They're both lying. They're not telling the full story, which is understandable. But at the same time, you shouldn't be telling all your business to these people for them to question you anyway. So they set themselves up for that. As
and
far
they're both
as
telling
Erica,
lies. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I said they're both telling lies. I think the difference here is Safari was the first one to prove one of the lies wrong. So now that's already poisoned that person's mind to be on their side now because they've already proven one person a liar in some way.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like she's not owning up to it. Instead of owning up to it, she's just spewing out other facts, quotes around facts.
And she's letting it be an issue. Girl, who cares? You still sleep with your husband. Boo-hoo. Who cares?
Right, she's like,
who
and then she tries to throw out, oh yeah, and you know, he was trying to mess with Sierra. Girl, it just took you an arm, a leg, in a day to tell Bambi, but it took you 2 seconds to tell them. Is it not a secret? Is it okay now that you could, like, what?
That's why I'm Team Sierra with them falling out. But anyway.
And I felt like it was kind of weird to me because Erica was talking to, Shakana was the one who initiated the conversation about Safari. Erica was talking and trying to explain herself to Kirk. Kirk didn't say a word. Kirk said, I don't know anything.
Kirk don't care.
I ain't explaining nothing to her husband.
Kirk straight in the face, explaining to him. And I'm like, this is your problem, Erica?
Yeah.
Why you want him to go run back and tell Safari? These aren't the people who approached you. Talk to Shakana and Blue Girl. What's her name? Spice.
No, Blue Girl.
I can't think of her name. Spice, shout out to you. We love the blue hair this episode.
Come on, Blue.
I don't have. You both really cover my comments, and we do have a caller in the queue. I don't want to keep them waiting anymore because sometimes when we keep our callers waiting in the queue, they end up disappearing. So I don't want to know where to go. So we'll bring our caller in. And is it Sir Caprico or Caprico?
Sir Capricorn.
It's Sir Capricorn.
So Capricorn. Oh, sorry. How you doing?
Good. How you doing? Hey.
Good. Thank you for calling in. This is your first time?
I called in last week.
Oh, I was out. Sorry.
He watches us. Hey, sir.
What's going on?
Hello.
Well, the floor is yours.
So, all right. So, I think the show was pretty good. Was pretty decent. I will say I do like. Here's my my thoughts real quick. Why I'm still confused why Rennie Rucci is not in the opening credits. And Yandy is, and we've only seen Yandy like twice this season, if that. And like Rennie Rucci has a whole storyline surrounded by her. Even Carly has a whole storyline surrounded by her, and I think we've seen Jessica like maybe 2 or 3 times as well, and she's in the opening credits as well. Like, why aren't Carly and Rennie in the opening credits? Because people's lives have been surrounded by those two pretty much the whole season. Um, that's my first thoughts on those. But I do like Rennie's their conversation between Rennie and Carly, and all about checking on your strong friends because that's very important. Even and it just puts a lot of stuff in perspective too, because as a man, we're told these we're told these things like a man shouldn't cry. Da, da, da. As black men growing up, like we're told these things. So to see that women are actually go through these same exact things says something that says a lot to me, and that was
Yeah.
very inspirational tonight. Um, uh, just to fast forward, Spice's dress reminded me of Yzma from Emperor's New Groove.
Okay.
Uh,
Why did you?
did
I
like
love her,
about,
but that's what it reminded me
but you know what I
of.
did like about her outfit? I will say it was very appropriate when she started performing at the gala. Like the outfit then in that moment when she was moving and doing that, it looked really good.
Yeah. The whole thing with Erica and Safari. Um, so I have a friend,
Hey,
and their parents have been divorced for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
The divorce mother's been remarried, and divorced. The father is still technically married, but their parents be dipping in and doing it with each other, but that don't mean that they want each other back. So I feel like you can dip in and do it
bingo.
with each other, but you still don't want each other back because their parents still be going back and forth with each other. My friend's parents.
Mm.
Um,
Mm,
so
child.
for Erica and Safari, so yeah, even if she made intercourse or just the the PP or the steamers or whatever they doing, even if it's just that, like that doesn't mean that she still loves him and wants him back. She may have at a point, but at this time, she may just may it just may be something that's familiar to her,
Yeah,
and because it's
comfort thing.
familiar, it's easy for her to go back to it. I mean, if she and even if they were doing it, like she can still, open it up and just say, "I don't want him," but it's familiar to me. It's just,
I
it's
agree.
that simple. Just lay it out like that.
That would have been better to hear. Just
Yeah,
by owning it and just admitting that. So, well, thank
exactly.
you, sir.
Yep.
Sir Capricorn, for your
Thank you for
time.
having me. I appreciate it.
Hope to see you next week again. We are going to continue to do these live. We see that you guys are enjoying it, so we are going to continue to do them live. So we hope to see you again next week. Okay.
For sure. Thanks for
Yes,
having me.
Thank
Colleen.
you. So, all right. Well, we have no other callers, so that wraps up another Love and Hip Hop. Thank you, Love. Thank you, Dream. Couldn't do this without you, so we love it. And thank you, callers and viewers. We can't do this without you either. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for Chase's Lunch and Lean. Um, Atlanta on Monday, New York on Tuesday, and we'll be back here. Bell Collective is on a break now because they have like the mid-season episode, so Bell Collective is on a break till it comes back, and then join us back again here Wednesday. Also, sometimes we pop up, with new stuff in the middle of the day, so be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so you can receive all the notifications and
Hit
you
that
don't miss out
bell.
a single thing. But if you do miss out, you know where to go to find it. So with that, thank you once again, everybody. Jazz, Dream, Love, it's
Yeah.
been a pleasure, and I will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye, love.